Hello, Aries. Welcome back to your journey of light and truth. Tonight, I want you to take a deep breath and listen not with your ears but with your soul, because what I'm about to say may make you see every relationship around you differently, deeper, and more honestly than ever before. There is someone close to you, hiding a secret, something your intuition has been whispering all along, but your heart, it didn't want to believe. The universe has been ringing a quiet bell, gentle but clear enough to awaken a soul that once trusted too easily. This isn't just a story about betrayal, it's a journey of awakening, a moment where you learn to tell the difference between those who truly love you and those who only borrow the name of love to stay near your light. And now, let's walk together through the first doorway of this journey, the moment when the universe begins to send you its first warning signs, before the truth finally unfolds. Sometimes, a day begins just like any other, the sound of birds outside your window, a ray of sunlight slipping through the old curtains, the gentle steam rising from your morning coffee. But deep inside, something feels unsettled, a quiet unease, as if your soul is trying to tell you something that your mind hasn't yet understood. Aries, maybe you felt it before, that sudden chill that brushes through your heart when someone's eyes no longer look at you the same way. No words, no clear signs, but your intuition, it knows something is changing. Those with pure hearts are often the first to sense the darkness, not because they are weak, but because their light is too honest to pretend it doesn't see. You Aries are the sign of fire, of faith, of courage. But sometimes that same trust, that same belief in goodness, becomes the very reason your heart gets hurt. You believe in promises, in the power of sincerity, in the hope that love can hold people together. And so, the universe begins to test you through silence, through distant eyes, through strange intuitions that slip quietly into your dreams. In Buddhist wisdom, betrayal is not a punishment. It's a lesson, a sacred invitation to return to yourself. The one who hurt you is often just a mirror, reflecting the part of you that you still refuse to see. The universe isn't punishing you. It's helping you open your eyes to see who is truly walking beside you on this spiritual journey. Try to look deeper, not with fear, but with compassion. Because sometimes betrayal doesn't come from cruelty, but from fear, the fear of losing you, the fear of being left behind, the fear that your light will expose how small they feel inside. When the heart is wounded, people often choose the wrong way to protect themselves. But for you, Aries, this is the time to stand still, in the storm of doubt, and listen to the quiet rhythm of your soul. Listen to your intuition. It is the voice of your spirit, and the spirit never lies. If something feels wrong, don't silence it. Observe. Let the truth reveal itself in its own time. Trust doesn't mean closing your eyes. It means seeing clearly, yet still choosing peace within. It might be the very person you once helped, who now tests your faith. But don't let pain make you doubt the goodness within you. Every crack in the heart is simply where the light gets in. And in that moment when you feel most lost, you're actually being guided toward a higher plane, a new level of awareness where you finally see. Not everyone close to you is truly with you. When conversations feel hollow, when glances no longer meet, when the warmth begins to fade, those are not signs of loss, but whispers from the universe, telling you that you are being protected from falsehood, from energies no longer aligned with your path, from the people who can no longer follow where your soul is going. And if you're listening right now quietly, perhaps your soul already knows. You're not where you used to be. Your energy has shifted, and that makes some people uneasy. But don't grieve, Aries, because true light always makes the shadows tremble. If you've ever felt someone's energy change and couldn't explain why, share your story. Your voice might be the healing someone else needs to learn how to trust life again. And soon, as the layers of illusion begin to fall away, you'll see clearly who's truly by your side and who's been standing in the glow of your light, pretending to care while quietly opposing your soul. That, dear Aries, is the moment of awakening, when the masks finally fall and the heart begins to see the truth, hidden behind the smiles it once believed. There are people who enter our lives with a smile, with gentle words of care, with eyes that make us believe they belong to the same light as we do. They walk beside us through hardship. They raise a glass with us in moments that feel like victory. But then one day, amid the laughter, you realize something has changed. That smile isn't as clear as it used to be, and the eyes that once felt warm now carry a quiet chill. Aries, on your journey, you may meet two people like that. Not strangers, not enemies, people who once felt like home. They made you believe the bond between you could never break. But your light, born from courage, honesty, and fire, sometimes shakes the souls who haven't yet healed. It shows them the parts of themselves they've been hiding, the emptiness they've buried beneath a polite smile. Jealousy is a form of fear. People don't hate you for shining, they just don't know how to find their own light. In Buddhist wisdom, envy is seen as a flame that burns the one who carries it, not because they are evil, but because they've forgotten that light is infinite. When one person shines, it doesn't dim another, if that other person remembers where their own light comes from. As you grow, Aries, as your energy strengthens and your spirit expands, the universe begins to show you how the world reacts. Some will smile, but their hearts will tremble. Some will congratulate you, but their words will carry a bitter taste. They don't realize that what they project is only their own unease. And you standing there between love and confusion, you can feel the air getting heavier without knowing why. They might tell you you've changed, but the truth is, they're the ones who can't accept that you've evolved. In their eyes, you've become a mirror, reflecting the truths they're not ready to face. So they pull away, or worse, they hurt you, hoping it will make them feel balanced again. Not everyone who claps for you is really happy for you. Some clap just to drown out the sound of their own jealousy. Some say they love you, but secretly wish you'd stumble so they can breathe a little easier. It's painful, yes, but it's necessary, because this is how the universe teaches us. To tell the difference between love and possession, between companionship and attachment. If you've ever been betrayed by someone you trusted, don't let that memory close your heart. Forgiveness doesn't mean letting them hurt you again. Forgiveness means walking away without carrying the weight of bitterness. It means understanding that their jealousy isn't a curse, but a lesson in compassion. Everyone out there is fighting a fear of their own. And sometimes, betrayal is just the act of someone who hasn't yet learned how to love themselves. When you understand that, you no longer see them with anger, but with compassion, while still standing firm in your boundaries. Aries, if your heart aches from someone's falsehood, take a deep breath and remind yourself, light never needs to prove itself. It just keeps shining, and the darkness, it fades on its own once you stop feeding it your attention. If you've ever felt this way, leave a Aries in the comments. Maybe your story will become the torch that guides another soul through their own night of doubt. Because sometimes, betrayal isn't the ending. It's the doorway, the beginning of awakening. It's where you learn to love yourself the right way, to see who's real, and to understand that true love never needs loyalty as proof, only peace in its presence. And just beyond that doorway, another lesson awaits, about karma, about letting go, and about why the universe always knows exactly who is meant to stay and who must be released from your life's sacred circle. In every stage of life, the universe sends us certain souls, some to lift us up, some to test us, and some who simply pass through to teach us a lesson we were meant to learn. No one appears by accident, and no one leaves without purpose. Every encounter is part of a greater symphony, one your soul chose long before you began this journey. Aries, sometimes you wonder, why do the people who once promised to always stay turn their backs when you need them most? Why does family, friendship, or love, once warm and safe, now leave such an empty, cold space behind? The answer isn't in fault or betrayal. It lies in the rhythm of your soul's evolution. When your energy shifts, the universe rearranges your circle. Those who no longer match your frequency will quietly drift away, no matter how hard you try to hold on. Just like autumn leaves falling when their season has ended. In Buddhist wisdom, there's a truth about karmic connections, that every meeting carries a purpose. One person teaches you how to love, another teaches you how to trust, and another teaches you how to let go. No one comes just to hurt you. They come bearing a message from the universe, a lesson your soul needs to learn before turning the next page. Those two people who hurt you, they're not villains. They're messengers of karma. They simply played the role your journey required. One may have come to teach you about boundaries, that love doesn't mean enduring pain. The other may have come to teach you self-respect, that kindness should never be mistaken for permission to be used. And once those lessons are learned, the universe takes them away, not as punishment but as protection, to spare you from repeating the same pain again. When you rise to a higher vibration, old souls will gently fall away. No anger, no struggle, no regret. They've completed their part in your story. Like a teacher at the end of a lesson, they don't disappear, they simply step back, making space for new lessons to begin. Aries, loss is not always punishment. Sometimes losing someone is the universe's softest way of pulling you out of harm's way. Some leave to teach you how to stand on your own. Some fall silent to help you hear your own voice again. And some betray you just to remind you that true trust must first live within yourself. If lately you've felt someone's energy slipping away, don't panic. Just whisper to your heart, I trust the universe's plan. Because sometimes what looks like loss is actually a blessing in disguise. When a relationship ends, new space is created for what's meant to arrive. When one door closes, the wind changes direction, bringing the scent of freedom and peace. Those who truly belong in your life will never need to be chased. And those who don't, no matter how tightly you hold, will still fade away. The universe always clears your path in its own way, sometimes with storms, sometimes with silence. But in the end, what remains is always protection. Because every closed door isn't an ending, it's a quiet sign from the universe that you are being shielded from greater pain and gently guided toward a safer, truer place, along the sacred path of your own becoming. There are seasons in life when you no longer hear anyone calling your name. No more goodnight messages. No last-minute coffee dates in the afternoon. No familiar words checking in to see how you are. Everything falls silent as if time itself has stopped breathing. And in that silence, the heart begins to tremble. People often think silence means distance, but sometimes silence is the universe's most tender form of protection. Aries, you are a sign of action, of fire, of beginnings. You thrive on motion, on connection, on being seen and understood. But when the universe pulls you into stillness, it isn't punishing you. It's guiding you into a sacred cleansing, a quiet season meant to help you hear what words could never say. Because only in silence can we truly hear the voice of the soul. Silence doesn't always come from people, it comes from energy. When your frequency rises, those who no longer match it will simply pause. They stop reaching out, stop showing up, not because they dislike you, but because their souls can no longer tune into yours. Like two melodies in different keys, once you begin a new song, the old one naturally fades away. Buddhist wisdom teaches that silence is never punishment. It is an invitation, a chance to listen more deeply, not with your ears, but with your heart. When the noise of the world disappears, you are given the gift of clarity, the chance to feel what truly matters. And often, in the loneliest moments, you realize the universe never abandoned you. It was simply clearing the path for new people, new beginnings, and a softer, brighter chapter to unfold. They didn't really leave, Aries. You just outgrew the space you once shared. You became wiser, lighter, deeper. You rose to a level of energy that not everyone is brave enough to reach. Those who once walked beside you may now take a different road, and that's not wrong. Every soul evolves at its own pace. No one owes anyone forever. Silence, in truth, is one of the universe's greatest teachers. It teaches us acceptance, to stop clinging, to stop forcing, and to let life flow the way it's meant to. Because real love isn't control, it's freedom, like a river. When it stops fighting the shore, it rediscovers its calm. Aries, think of someone who once hurt you, then left without a word. Maybe that day your heart felt like it lost a piece of itself. But now, looking back, can you feel gratitude? Because that emptiness they left became the space where you finally found yourself. And if, in this moment, you understand that truth, whisper softly, I understand now. Silence is a gift, not a punishment. It teaches you to hear the sound of your own footsteps on life's path. It reminds you that peace doesn't come from holding on, but from learning how to keep walking, lightly and with grace. And when your heart is finally still, you'll see that nothing ever happens by accident. Every silence, every separation, is a message from the universe, a gentle yet powerful whisper that says, "I'm protecting you from what you cannot yet see." Because only when the heart is quiet can the eyes truly recognize the signs, and the universe in its infinite compassion always sends warnings before betrayal so that your heart never has to break again, but instead can learn to shine, calmer, stronger, and far more peaceful than ever before. Sometimes before a door closes, the universe always sends a sign, small, quiet, almost invisible. But if you listen with your heart, you'll recognize it. It's not by accident that you suddenly feel heavy standing next to someone. It's not by accident that a dream keeps returning, the same face, the same emotion over and over again. And it's not by accident that unease rises within you, even when everything on the surface seems perfectly calm. Aries. Your soul always knows what's coming before your mind does. It doesn't speak in words, it speaks in sensations. A tightness in your chest, a look in someone's eyes that suddenly feels unfamiliar, a dream that wakes you in the middle of the night with a sadness you can't name. That isn't anxiety, it's a warning bell from the universe, gentle, loving, but clear. When you feel drained or empty after being around someone, pay attention. Energy never lies. Your spirit is trying to protect you from what doesn't belong to you. They may speak kindly, act gently, but something in their frequency weakens your light. And that Aries is the universe whispering, it's time to step back. Those recurring dreams, they're not random either. Dreams are the soul knocking on the door of awareness. In the dream world, logic can't hide the truth. The faces we fear, the emotions we try to bury, they return to remind us there's something we still haven't faced. Sometimes the dream is where your soul speaks the words your mind refuses to hear. Trust that, because dreams aren't just images, they are messages, guidance, premonitions whispered from the deeper layers of consciousness. Aries, you are a warrior of action, of faith, of motion. But even a warrior must pause to listen to the silence within. If a feeling makes you hesitate, don't rush to dismiss it. Intuition is a sacred gift, given only to souls that walk in honesty and light. When your heart carries no ill will toward others, the universe will always show you who might be carrying ill will toward you. Sometimes the signs come quietly. A friend who used to reach out stops calling. A message you were about to send, but something makes you hesitate. A door you were about to open, but the wind suddenly pushes back. These are not coincidences. They are the universe saying, not yet. Because behind that sweetness, behind that promise, there may be a lesson you've already learned, and you don't need to learn it again. If you've ever dreamt of a face, and later realized that person would betray you, share that story. Not to reopen an old wound, but to remind others that the human soul truly has eyes of its own. Every story told becomes a light for someone lost in doubt, someone learning to trust their own intuition again. The universe never abandons you. It simply speaks in another language, through energy, through instinct, through synchronicities, through silence. Once you learn to read that language, you'll see that every odd event is a message. Every delay is protection, and every ending carries a quiet blessing. Remember this: no one can touch your soul unless you allow it. And if you feel a wall rising between you and someone else, don't tear it down. Because sometimes that wall isn't human, it's a wall of light built by the universe itself, to guard your heart from a pain you no longer need to live through again. Not everyone who hurts you deserves punishment, and not every wound needs to be answered with another wound. Some pain arrives only to teach you to see the world through new eyes, the eyes of awakening. Aries, you are a warrior of light, born to act, to protect justice, to fight for what's right. But sometimes what's right isn't found in resistance. It's found in silence. Not the silence of weakness, but the silence of one who understands that every event carries a reason deeper than the eye can see. In Buddhist wisdom, there is a truth both simple and profound. Hatred never ends through hatred, only through compassion. If you meet anger with anger, the suffering only grows like fire fed with more oil. But when you choose forgiveness, the old karma stops. When you stop seeking revenge, the invisible thread that once tied two souls together begins to dissolve. And in that moment, you are free, not from them, but from your own anger. Forgiveness isn't because they deserve it. It's because you deserve peace. Each time you hold on to resentment, you carry the energy of the one who hurt you. They live in your heart, not through love, but through pain. And you, the one meant to soar, become tied to the past. Ask yourself, Aries, is that fair to your spirit? Letting go doesn't mean forgetting. Letting go means looking back and softly saying, "Thank you, because through you, I learned the lesson that only pain could teach." That's the maturity of a soul that's walked through darkness and no longer needs the spotlight of anger, only the gentle light of understanding. When you choose forgiveness, you send a message to the universe. I've learned this lesson. And when the soul understands, karma dissolves and blessings begin to flow. Those who once made you cry will quietly fade away, not because you forced them out, but because the karmic reason for their presence has ended. Aries, you don't need to prove anything. You don't need to tell the world how much you were hurt. Truth speaks through energy, through the calm vibration of someone who has healed. Real power isn't making others regret what they did. It's reaching a peace so deep that you no longer need them to. If you feel ready to release the old energies, say softly in your mind, "I release them with love." When you say this, you're offering a prayer, not only for them, but for yourself. A prayer for freedom, for clarity, for peace to return where pain once lived. Maybe healing isn't about finding those who will apologize to you, but about finding the part of yourself that stopped believing in good. When that part is restored, every wound becomes a seed of wisdom. And that wisdom in time becomes a flame, a light to guide others lost in their own darkness. One day when you look back, you'll see that everything that once broke you has become the foundation that helps you stand taller than ever before. No one wins, no one loses. There is only understanding, compassion, and a soul that has learned to free itself. And when the shadows finally leave, new light will enter. It will bring the right souls, those who come not to test you, but to walk beside you in peace, in freedom, and in the radiant light of awakening. After all the chaos, after every layer of darkness has been peeled away, a new dawn begins to rise within your soul. There is no more fear, no more anger, only the gentle stillness of a spirit that has walked through the storm and finally understands that everything happened for a reason. Aries, you are being reborn, not in fireworks or celebration, but in the quietest of moments, when you accept yourself fully and feel gratitude even for those who have walked away. Betrayal is no longer a wound, it becomes wisdom. Loss is no longer an ending, it becomes purification. And in that open, peaceful space, the universe begins to send you new souls, kind, honest, and loving ones, who vibrate at the same frequency of light as you. They will enter softly like a breeze, no grand promises, no noise, just gentle presence walking beside you through each unfolding moment of your life. Aries, when you live in truth, you attract only truth. When you no longer need to pretend to be strong, those who truly understand your depth will appear. When you stop trying to prove your worth, real love will find you quietly, steadily, sincerely. True love doesn't need to prove itself. It only needs to be felt. And then you realize, life never truly takes anything from you. It only changes how it gives. When you lose someone, you are being given a chance to meet someone better aligned with your light. When you cry, you are being cleansed so you can see the world through clearer eyes. When you fall silent, you are hearing the whisper of the universe saying, "You are strong enough to move forward now." Every person entering your life from now on is no longer random. They are blessings, rewards for the times you chose love over resentment. They are the fruit of your faith, your surrender, your willingness to keep shining, because the universe always honors the brave, those who forgive, those who walk through pain without losing their humanity. If lately your days have felt lighter, your heart calmer, your world brighter, it's not an illusion. It's the sign that your energy is rising, and a new circle of light is forming around you. Trust that from here on, you will only be surrounded by genuine souls, people who come not to take, but to share, to heal, to help you build a world filled with light. Aries, if you believe that every loss carries a hidden blessing, whisper to your heart, I trust the universe's protection. Because the moment you believe, you allow the miracle to begin. Thank you for listening with your heart. May you be peaceful, wise, and forever surrounded by the truest souls of light.